Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Sarah DeCiccio. I'm a certified holistic health coach. I'm the founder and big boss lady of Finding Your Wealth Spot, which you can check me out online at findingyourwealthspot.com. As well, I'm partnered with USANA Health Sciences. So this week, I'm sure many of you can relate when your lives get busy, a little bit of stress in it, not sleeping very well, and you're on the go constantly. You can get run down pretty quickly. And then what happens when you get run down? Well, of course, you're starting to catch, a cold or flu here and there. So at the beginning of this week, I was noticing over the weekend, because I'm a hockey mom of 2 kids, and we always are going strong all the time with hockey and curling and dance and school. It's crazy. So I was getting run down. I wasn't taking care of myself, wasn't getting enough sleep. I kind of fell off the wagon for the weekend and just was eating whatever I wanted. So come Monday, it hit me, and I was like, I'm catching a cold. I'm not feeling very good. And I am not the type that likes to sit down and wait for something to pass. So usually, when I'm not feeling well, I will up my supplements. I always take good quality, high quality supplements from USANA. So I will increase some of them, such as the vitamin C, for example. And I will also make a big batch of bone broth, or I'll use the stuff that I already have frozen. So bone broth is super healing. I love bone broth. To be quite honest, I've been drinking it almost every morning. On an empty stomach, and then continuing throughout the day, and it's actually basically it replaced my coffee this week. I have not craved for coffee whatsoever. I've just been loving the bone broth. So I know that may sound weird, and that's like, God, nothing could replace my coffee, but honestly, it was just perfect for me this week. So bone broth is great. If you suffer with leaky gut, if you don't know what leaky gut is, it's a whole other subject that we'll get on one day. It's great if you have food sensitivities or food allergies. It's really healing for that as well. It can help you overcome some of that. It's also really great if you have arthritis or any joint pain. If you have cellulite, or if you want to boost your immune system, bone broth is great for that. So of course, I really wanted to boost my immune system with the bone broth this week. So basically, bone broth, it's quite popular. Like all over the world, people make bone broth. It doesn't matter which cuisine that you kind of do. Everybody does their own kind of bone broth, whether it's beef, chicken, fish, lamb, whatever it may be. Really, you're just taking the carcass of that animal, like all the parts of it, and you are simmering it for hours and hours. And that simmering effect actually pulls out all the great nutrients from those bones and stuff, which can be super healing. It really will take your health to the next level. So for those of you who are more factual and want more facts and studies, there's been nutrition researchers Sally Fallon and Kayla Daniel of the Western A. Price Foundation. They say that bone broths contain minerals and forms that the body can easily absorb, which is super important. And it also contains a lot of glucosamine. Glucosamine is what's going to help with inflammation of the joints, or if you have arthritis, or if you're in sports a lot and your joints sort of hurt, glucosamine is what's going to help with that. And actually, I take glucosamine every day from USANA because it really helps with my joints as well. And a natural way is getting it from your bone broth. Also, they did a study that was conducted by the University of Nebraska, and the researchers found that the amino acids that were produced when making chicken stock reduced inflammation in the respiratory system and improved digestion. It also boosts the immune system and healed disorders like allergies, asthma, and arthritis. So there's a lot of great things about bone broth, but here's the key. You can't just go to the store and buy bone broth. It is not the same as making it yourself. Most of the store-bought bone broths, they use lab-produced meat flavors in bouillon cubes, soup and sauce mixes, and of course a lot of them contain MSG, which is kind of like, it has like a meat flavor, but really in reality it is a neurotoxin. MSG is not good for our body, so really what we want to do is make it from scratch. So of course, bone broth can be very time consuming because that simmering effect that we need for hours and hours and hours, but I'm going to teach you how to make it really, really quickly. I use a pressure cooker all the time. I love using the pressure cooker. I used to do it on the stove all the time. I've done it in my slow cooker, and it still takes a long time, but I'm really loving it. in people call it an Instapot or a pressure cooker. So all I've done here is sometimes I'll even keep frozen chicken bones and I'll use them later on. So that's what I'm doing now. I put the chicken in, and what I do is I take about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with the mother. So it's the cloudy, yucky looking stuff. You don't want the distilled apple cider that you would find. You really want the organic apple cider that's unfiltered, unpasteurized with the mother. Like a mother. That's what you want with it. So it'll be cloudy and look gross. That's what's gonna have all the nutrients for you. If you pour that over the bones and leave it sit for like 10 to 30 minutes, it's gonna leach all those good minerals out of the bones. So that's a really important point that you really should try out when making bone broth. Then I add in, of course, some celery, some onions, some carrots, some real salt, pepper, and I also like to add this herbamare, which is like a herb infused sea salt. I really like it, gives it lots of extra flavor. You can find it at health food stores. You could also find it at Superstore in the health aisle. They always have that as well, and I love it. It's delicious. Then I put it in, put my bucket in here into the pressure cooker, and then I turn it on. It usually only takes 1 hour. I let mine go for 2 hours just because. And then after that, you're not spending your entire day waiting for your bone broth to be done. It's just done in a couple of hours. You let it cool, you strain it, you can freeze it, you can put it in your fridge, start drinking it like I do to help boost your immune system. And I promise you, you'll feel a huge difference. I know with me and how run down I felt, I just drank bone broth the whole day. And of course I ate other foods as well. And in 2 days, I already felt back to my normal self. So there's really a lot of great healing properties to bone broth. So again, if you can see that, you can see all my stuff in there. I'm gonna turn it on, 2 hours, it's done, and you have fresh homemade bone broth that's going to benefit your health and take it to the next level. Be sure to follow me. You can follow me on Facebook at Sarah DeCiccio, Finding Your Wealth Spot, Instagram, as well as YouTube at Finding Your Wealth Spot, and then of course my website at www.findingyourwealthspot.com. If you want to take your health to the next level and work with me, definitely check out my website as well. You can take my free health assessment that's also on my website. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.